Hey everybody, good evening. It's me, Dan, just Dan today. Let's get back over to the game already. Let's go. Oh, that's inelegant. Tonight we are continuing the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, which is the first game in the Chronicles pack. That released on Tuesday. We had one stream and streamed for about 4 hours and change, and man, even after all that, after 2 chapters worth of checkpoints and stuff, we're still not through the first episode, which is pretty atypical of Ace Attorney games. Usually the first episode is all about, a single tutorial case that takes place exclusively in the courtroom. And actually, the past 2, we haven't been outside the courtroom yet. No investigations or anything like that. But yeah, it's surprisingly long, and we haven't even met Herlock Sholmes yet. And I think we just got introduced, or we just got to a point where the girl in the kimono, Mikotoba, I keep forgetting her actual name. Sato? I think it's Sato. She's the judicial assistant who will become a much bigger character starting now, I imagine. So, like I said, Marvin's not here today, so I'm going to have to be Ryunosuke and everyone else. So, right away, since I'm alone and no one's going to be, prompting me to talk with, questions or comments or things like that, I'm probably going to be reading this through mostly like an audio book with, light commentary from me as I go. But I'm pretty sure I'll be pretty engrossed in the story, so we'll see how it goes. All right, let's get back in there. Now, I noted this during the last stream, but one thing that's kind of interesting to me is that I can't advance a text box to show me all the text within the box quickly. So yeah, I have to wait for the game's pace to tell me, or to show all the text, so sometimes that's bad for reading, actually. Anyway, back into acting mode, let's go.
Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant, and a woman no less. The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
You're too late, little girl. This trial's already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency...
I am most grateful. Yeah, she's in the assistant, slot now. Wait, along with, Kazuma. Man, we got 3 people up in here. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? Report about something. Written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I've never heard that word before.
Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail. but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful. Thank you. Alright, we got ourselves a report and some new evidence that we can check out. Sweet. Goodbye then, and good luck. Oh, she's good. She can vanish by teleportation. She did this earlier.
You have had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer.
That jerk.
I ask the prosecution and defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Rinosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence.
That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior.
That's a pretty funny thing to put in here.
Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency?
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, Counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Well, again, now I have a chance to check it out. An unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching during her time at Yuma University. Well, there you go. What's it say? Poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Yes. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry. The effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. What? Practical applications. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Right. I'm also now remembering that Curare was the name of a Batman Beyond episode. And that was an assassin who was sent to kill Batman, and when she couldn't, she was the target. Interesting. Hi! Alright, I'm still in Japanese voices here. Miss Giselle Brett. We understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yuma University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison. What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, Counsel?
A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to an instant death. Apparently I was reading it very quickly too.
What complete and utter nonsense. Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country.
It doesn't exist.
Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Oh, good slam. Why? Or why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Order, order, order. Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist?
According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that.
I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used.
Explain yourself, Counsel.
The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all.
How terrible.
Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. Poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous.
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. Dramatic.
And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there's no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense.
If I may...
All these facts. You think you're so clever. You must be touched.
It is you who must be taught.
Of course. Dear lady,
I really have no idea what he's doing with this here. I'm not sure how a Japanese read of Japanese dialogue should go for that. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling's mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
What's so funny? Oh, excuse me. It's so weird to do, like, these bits don't make much sense in English. Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see, why not?
Oh, this is getting really involved. Now they're having demonstrations of evidence?
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry.
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers.
What are you doing, lady? Oh no! What is this?
Wait, what are you doing? No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
What is this? What does she mean to do with this? What's the point of this demonstration? I legit have no clue where she's going with this.
Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned.
So, no curare. The bottle was clean, is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Yes, dear lady. I'm most gratified with all the assistance you've given.
This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? But there can't have been. Because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Rinosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains no poison. Clearly, because she's not dead. As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle. What? Why, Rinosuke? Isn't it obvious? If there was poison in there, she'd be dead by now. Sometimes your unadulterated naivete really astounds me. But sometimes it's in need of a good staining. Until it's as dark as your uniform and the ways of the world. Jeez, Cosmo, way to be a cynic. It's my job. Oh, is that what this code is supposed to represent?
That was a guileless ending to a promising line of inquiry, Counsel, for which you will be penalized.
This whole trial is poisoned. Oh, that was a wrong bit? Oh, okay. In my defense, my line of thinking was that there was poison lying around the rim of the glass that she had, like, kept inside her little bag there. I thought it was the glass. Because I think Marvin and I came with that theory yesterday, so I was carrying that over here, and I guess it was wrong. Alright. Fine. Let's see what we do. Contains poison. The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious? Don't just poo-poo everything I say, Cosmo. Quit being such a naysayer.
Fool! Are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw.
Miss Brett drinking the water from it? That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be.
Very well, if the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
Poisoned water. Don't think that helps. Front of the chest subsequently died. No. Is there anything on the... I don't think so. Carbonated water and steak lunch on the victim's table. Maybe it is circling back to our theory, but in a slightly different configuration. I'm gonna present this here, but since I've already lost one strike, I'm gonna get paranoid and save. Just in case, you know. Photograph the handbag.
Seems the defense, or should I say the wretched accused...
Oh god, this sucks. I think this isn't right.
is the only real source of complication in this case. You'll have to think harder than that, defendant.
Sorry, Your Excellency. I'll try to find some better supporting evidence. You're making this complication more complicated than it needs to be. Alright, I'll do my best to find an answer that fits the facts. Man. Alright, maybe it's something here. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through body. It doesn't seem to... Okay, maybe I need to look at this. I'm gonna look at all the evidence again. This doesn't seem to bring anything. Oh, sorry guys. Hold on just 1 second. I need to take a quick little phone call. Okay, sorry. Back. Well, I already presented this. Although, like, the shadiest thing to me is that the glass was taken in this bag. Okay, let's look at the question again. What explains how the witness was able to consume this poison water unscathed? French. So, carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It's just plain water now. Alright, well, I guess that conversation is enough to give you an inkling that it's gonna be the key. Not necessarily anything that I've actually figured out, but it might be the right thing. Oh, shit. Alright, you know what? I don't like the way this is going. Yikes. Alright, so, a little after 2 p.m. was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. That doesn't even seem like it's accurate anymore, given what we've already learned about the case elsewhere. Is it because the water, or the bottle itself is different from what was... No? That is the same bottle, I think. Or close enough to it. Oh, it might be the way... Okay, let's reread the Curare stuff. It might have some behavior of the poison. Instant paralysis of the entire body and death in minute doses. The above mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound. Oh, Jesus, I forgot about that part already. Ah! Alright, this is it. Ugh, I feel so... Ugh. Ugh, ugh. Alright. The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. So hard to say Susato-san.
I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle?
I need to look at the actual sections again. What was the header on that? It is route of entry, or special characteristics. Special characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something.
Oh, Counsel?
Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. I read that wrong.
So we've been led to believe, yes.
And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison.
Good gracious, Counsel. No, that would be madness.
But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound.
Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense.
Yes. The mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew curare's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little... Oh, the turn!
Rapscallion!
The swan is alive! Well, Rinosuke, turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? Lawyer?
And all this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers, what are they? So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
That's right.
Good gracious, we're all stupid.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
Order in court, order. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drink the same poison, they would be affected in the same way.
Are you trying to suggest...
Yes, this curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. What's this? Whoa, wait, what is this? What is this welling up inside me? Are you actually gonna shout objection for once? I think you're gonna shout objection! Oh, it's gonna be Igiari. I've never felt like this before. The sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. More than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Jeez, buddy. Igiari! Nice! Oh, that's a good, like, pose for her. I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead.
Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested, why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare?
Because of this report of the bullet not passing through his victim's body. Well, there are multiple things here that suggest the right answer. It's the fact that he was shot. Like, that's a given. I'm gonna see if... I'm too paranoid. I want to save here. That's fine. Alright, I'm gonna present the post-mortem report, because it talks about the gunshot to the chest. What? Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry, Counsel, but the shipside manner in which you tossed that evidence before the court does not inspire confidence.
Huh? Listen, Rinosuke, there's no need to overthink this. We know that Curari's toxic effects only come into play when the poison enters the body via a wound. Right, so that can only mean that when Dr. Wilson drank his glass of water, he must have had a wound somewhere that let the poison in. Exactly. So I need some evidence that would prove the professor had a wound inside his mouth. Oh, inside his mouth? Oh, it wasn't the gunshot. I was thinking that it was like the lacerations inside, like... Okay. This makes more sense, actually.
Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you, you must provide blah blah blah.
I mean, I already know what I'm going after now, but shit. All my ideas are wrong so far. I feel really out of my element here.
Quiet! Take that!
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners.
A fatal difference?
The toxic effects of a curare only felt. The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You use that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy, you'll find out soon enough. Whoa, so many animations. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No. I mean, it could just slip. You... No! You... Oh, you piece of shit! Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No!
What is it? What just happened? It's English. She just smashed that bottle in the Supreme Court. What a terrible blunder.
Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible, at once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. It was our plan all along. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. How could you? You won't get away with this! You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not. You. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady?
That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is a little schoolboy. No, you killed the victim that day, using curare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. There's a lot of presumptions, actually. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? He had her. But now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yes. We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, that's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on. Well, yes, it's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. That's true. That's a huge lapse in observational skills, Ryunosuke. That's a great point. Kazuma's kind of dumb. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Turn into color. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? Well, of course there's a clue. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on, then. Let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is. Well, this is the thing that became apparent because of the colors, so I can only assume this is it. And nothing else in this scene like messes with the cursor, so I'm just assuming that it's gonna be this. Take that! Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Look at him.
Yes, what is it?
He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you?
Absolutely.
I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Wait a minute. Where are you going with the...
Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood.
What?
Oh, really? Then what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Ah,
Yes. The blood to have made it onto the plate implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett?
I beg your pardon? This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is a court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing? Hold it!
Oh, Hosonaga said hold it.
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to.
Inspector? You mean?
Yes, I took the plate, in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. I took all the steaks. No one will stop me. And I did it all in the name of justice.
I enjoy this guy's cool for no reason moves. It's good. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it, now! Man, Ouchie is so hunched over.
Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir! Oh, here it is.
Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered.
The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector. The blood man. Show the court.
Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure.
What?
No. No blood. No blood anywhere.
But no, that's
Impossible.
No, I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always said you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Ah. I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
Oh, of course I'll examine it. I'll examine the shit out of this steak. It was removed from the victim's table after the incident. Okay, nothing of use there. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw it, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. Which I will. Right now. The meal. Alright. Let's check out this thing. This emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beefsteak. Seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is a symbol of Le Carnival, is it? I just now realize that the carne in Carnival is supposed to refer to the meat there. Haha. Alright, so that's that. Let's examine the steak itself. Oh shit. Huh? What the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark is from the Koei era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it? I mean, what's doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. You should be realizing shit too, Kazuma. You're supposed to be the smart guy here. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk about Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion in bouillon. Yeesh. And I don't think you ever will again. It's extraordinary, though. This means... I can continue examining that. Anything else on the back? Alright, so that's literally all there was to look for. Check this out. I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. It's from the Hoei era, too. That would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in the juices as well, look. What, you think of eating it? No, but next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. Koban coin underneath the steak. There's only one logical explanation. Okay. So, I guess... Wait, hold on. I just realized that maybe there's something else to search after that. On second thought, no. There's nothing. There's nothing.
The evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way. I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection?
That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence.
Man, this judge is such a good judge. Like, he commands his dang courtroom. So he's way better than the Judge Phoenix has most of the time.
I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency.
Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found?
I can only imagine it's the coin, but I can only target the steak itself, so I hope it does the lifting thing again.
No, Counsel, I'm afraid that won't do. That was ambiguous at best. When you're asked to identify a detail like this, you must do so knowing there's a penalty for mistakes.
The answer's right here in front of me, I'm sure of it, so there's only one thing to do. Man, all my first guesses suck. Turn this steak over and... But that's what I was trying to do. You can't give me that dialogue now. That's just rubbing it in my face. Rubbing that delicious, delicious steak in my face, but I can't eat it. It sucks.
Counsel for the defense, you now clearly...
Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then the only other thing is this bull thing, because we haven't really addressed it yet, but I thought it was going to be about the... it's always about the order of things, isn't it? Wait, what? Uh-oh, okay, ooh. Okay. Hold on. Actually, no. I'm going down one more. Oh, God, I'm sweating over here. What? What do you mean there's additional crap to be found? What are you talking about? There's nothing left. Like, do I need to be really precise about where I put that? There are only 2 nodes at which... I'm getting a little baffled here. There are only 2 places to place your cursor. The stake and the logo. There's no way to lift it. And turning it upside down doesn't make the stake drop or nothing. I don't get it. Alright, I'm just gonna use up all my stuff until it's over, and then I'll reload again, but... How am I missing this? I've done both. And there's nothing on the backside here. Oh, this is weird. I don't understand. Am I locked in a bad path because I said there was a clue here? I hope they didn't allow that to happen. History. Oh, I have... What? Wait. Oh man, okay, I don't really love how this ended up being structured, because I had to press A to do this. And not only that, but it's forcing me to go through this dialogue again without being able to skip it at all. Like, I mean, I guess they're forcing you to discover it in this way. But the fact that I had already been able to see that much, and I just couldn't figure out how it's supposed to be done. Ah, man. Okay. At least I know now. All right. I don't like where I am right now. I'm gonna load. I don't like how many strikes I have. Oh, but then I gotta sit through this again. Oh, wait. Okay, the game remembered for me. Good. You know what?
Good gracious. Let's...
Now, hold on a second. Gameplay. Text skip. Enable or disable the skipping of unread text in the main game. Escapade's text is skippable from the start. I am going to let this sit there.
A Koban? What on earth?
Away, everyone, at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it.
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? Whoa, he just changed poses immediately. A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency.
Yes, Counsel.
A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now. Oh, not even a line from Cosmos saying you stole it.
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
I kind of want to hear the English version of that shut up. But my last save was kind of a while ago. How about this? I'm gonna save right now, and if I hear another shut up soon, I'll reload so I can hear that. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak.
The owner?
Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is...
Mr. Curio Correcta.
The owner, Raste. Raste? Rusty, okay, got it. Who was hunting the lost... Yeah. It's him. Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Raste Curio Correcta-san. Curie? As in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct?
Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoera Koban, my prized coin. My precious antique coin.
Then this Hoeg era Koban. You mean to tell me?
No. Please, why would Correcta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Which is why I'm asking to bring Correcta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him.
Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay.
Are we gonna have a big old, like, mass testimony now? Can't believe we come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. Yep, here we are. Got the full gang now. Full 4-person massive inquisition.
What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. Having cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice. A worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun is set on this Raste shop owner's existence.
Be that as it may, Correcta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Raste memory serves, have you ever...
Wah! Yes, that's it. The one, the very exact one that it is. The resplendent, splendiferous Hoey treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be.
As I thought.
Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. It must be delicious now.
Sandwich? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly it could have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Oh, wait. Did I read that wrong? Clearly it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Yeah, that makes way more sense. Jesus.
Somebody concealed my Hoey treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing?
Excuse me. Could I say something?
Yes, of course.
Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga.
I mentioned this earlier. Wait, hold on. Wrong voice.
I mentioned this earlier in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
The Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners.
Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
Wicked crimes indeed.
We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in another undercover, is it?
Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief.
So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Correcta-san's Koban is all too clear.
What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter.
Alright, sounds like he's gonna force me to name something, so let's have a little bit of a save here.
Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Correcta-san's Koban and hid it under the stick?
I think it was Nosa, because didn't this guy, like, give him the side-eye earlier? Like, he was suspecting him of something? Some sort of foul play? I think that's what it was. Because if it's not just Giselle herself, it was him. Let's see. Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Yesanosa.
What? How? How dare you, you monster?
Monster?
I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido was the mastermind behind all this.
The kid? Wait, hold on. What? You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son? An innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Yeah, just deal with that guilt.
Clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity clap. Gah!
Whoa. What is happening? He turned into Wario? He Wario'd up.
Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Yesanosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir.
And all that animation was just to be cute? Okay, so Ido is not a mastermind. I'm very glad they didn't decide to do anything like that, because that's crazy.
Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe?
I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes.
All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son.
That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant?
The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time.
Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban?
Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin in my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are.
Is that a deliberate reference to P5?
I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened.
Bang! Yes, when the professor was shot.
I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I'd owe too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
Wow, no one has anything to say. That's a ridiculous looking picture. Look at these weirdos standing behind that counter. This is ridiculous. I wonder who's saying that. Oh, Brett. It's weird calling her Brett. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time. Well, Miss Brett.
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us.
Oh, I'm so sick of this guy.
I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all.
I like that animation, though.
May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency.
Indeed. The theft of the koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it?
Well...
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day. Inosuke, what's the matter with you? There's no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... Something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. Can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. Like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Apparently I, just like every other assistant in the Ace Attorney series, can hear your inner thoughts. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. Mata! Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Inosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction.
I'm going to need to see evidence, counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where's the evidence to prove it?
So... The thing Brett said was, hiding a coin under a lump of meat, sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Picking up your steak and biting it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense, it's pure madness. I feel like it's something to do with the photos. Oh, wait a minute. Does a picture only have, like, bite marks? It's not cut. It has bite marks. Is that what's happening? Oh, do I need to present this steak? I mean, it's a clearer view of it, so I guess that would make sense. But just to be safe. There we go. Yep.
The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on.
More accurately, Your Excellency. Steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett.
Notice what exactly, Counsel?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Then take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there.
Ah!
Oh.
Ah! Looks like Miss Brett's realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
But what's your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and couldn't...
Alright. That's close enough that I want to load it up and I'm gonna go back to title here. Or wait a minute. Yeah. Back to title. Back to title. No. That's fine. I'm gonna change the language back to English real quick. I wish I could change that on the fly in game. Alright, here we go.
Take that!
Oh, take that! Alright. We've already read this out loud. Okay, here we go. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Objection!
Ugh. Alright, here we go.
Shut up!
Oh, shut up! Okay, that's pretty good. That's well done.
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course, this will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything to...
I've heard enough, you irritating little spectacled samurai relic.
Of course, dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have you ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Inosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, now at last it's all come together. Just gonna say right here. Mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day.
I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been... What?
Just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd. The trial's run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
Oh, weird. That's his objection? That's so weak. Oh man, that sucks. I don't like that one. Kazuma has a much better objection than he does, and that sucks. I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial.
They're just telegraphing it that hard, huh? Alright. Just in case it's weirder than I think. I gotta get in the habit of just saving for safety, because it's just good to do that.
Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair?
I would imagine it's Giselle herself.
Take that!
Counsel, I'm disappointed. As this is like your last chance, I would expect you to be taking with this.
Oh man, all my first guesses aren't right.
It seems you need some waking up. But the penalty will help focus your mind.
Oh hey, William Shamspear. Big chungus indeed. Ah. Now we've come this far, there's nothing more to say. There's one person in particular who's provided us with various pieces of evidence already. You have plenty of clues that point to the right answer. This is the last act in this trial, and you have center stage, Ryunosuke. Okay. I actually did not know that, William. Thank you for that tip. Although, Thanks for the tip this time. Although, generally speaking, I like to avoid the spoiler stuff, if I can. But I'm gonna trust you here, and I think you're right. Because he was the guy who stole all this... He took all the steak plates, of course he did. Jesus, okay, yeah, totally.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga.
What? I have it.
Yes?
You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence?
That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks.
Yes?
Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nose had told the court the following. I had enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak, and as well as admitting to stealing Correcta-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, Cadet. I'm a superior officer.
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the stake that you put the coin under, in fact, your own stake?
Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it.
In other words, the stake that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
I hate this objection call, ew. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two stakes over.
Nosa ain't having it.
You did switch the plates?
Well, after it happened, when I saw a civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. It'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable!
However, fear not, Prosecutor-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform that is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
I hate that too. So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
Yes, that follows.
I know, this case is so long, dude. Inspector Hosonaga.
Yes.
Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. For justice. Oh, she's starting to get a little pressured there.
That's correct.
Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
Yeah, his objection's good. No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon.
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you. No?
You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. I really wanted to hear Brett say "shut up" with the English voice to see how well the accent was, or the accent was done. It's better for the English people, but the Japanese characters
Thinks he remembers.
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from this gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. For justice. Sorry for keeping you.
Ah, look at that. Nice clean cut.
Here's the other steak in its plate. Please, feel free to examine it.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The bloodstain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
Ah! It can't be.
In fact, there's only one person who could have possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! We're gonna get a breakdown. Switching. Oh, shit.
Done by Japanese. Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? Oh, no, no.
Ew. What's going on here? Ah, the swan. Oh wow, we're hatching chicks. Were there even eggs on that thing? Oh wow, black chick. She can fly. Fantastic. And we have little. Oh, look at them. They're just cute. And then the dark one goes with the prosecution because dark things are bad, I guess. Piyoko, Piyoko.
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life, using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you plan to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan.
Ah, the English.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor to take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
That'd be me, I suppose.
Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter. The fact that you decided to come.
Uh-oh. Whoops. Sorry, guys. guess we had a little bit of a connection interruption. Sorry. I don't know where from the preview. I think I was like, let's see. Well, I guess I'll just move on. Place where you're sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, I popped a cap in his ass. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. So, there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency.
Yes?
I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. Oh, you're just gonna walk away? They're gonna let you... Oh, she floated away.
It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
This can't be. Taketsuchi Aochi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student.
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
But... yes.
This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten.
You become conceited with age, Counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Whoa! Just swinging his... Oh my god! Now he's just assaulting people in the courtroom. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Aochi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. So he just put a curse on their family's house forever. They will never beat Naruhodo, or the rights.
This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is the modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That's for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi.
Yes?
After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you.
I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind.
As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo,
Oh, yes!
in you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty.
Ooh, Sakura petals! Sick. And Ouchie has not moved since his hair got cut. He's been absolutely traumatized. He will need tons of therapy that does not even exist as a discipline yet.
This court is now adjourned.
Oh no. I think I had another connection slip. Hey, YouTube! YouTube! Okay. Dude! What are you doing, YouTube? No! Hold on. Let me see if maybe I just want to test some things. Because it looks like my stream got fully, stalled here. But OBS isn't telling me that I'm having an issue. Earlier I dropped some frames, but I'm not dropping any right now. Oh, okay. Then I think it's just, Alright, and I think it's just my preview that got messed up. That's fine. That's fine. I'll monitor some other way. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. Or wait a minute. Ew, this isn't looking good. Is there an issue? Is there like a bigger issue here? Oh no. Okay. Wait, I finally have a stream feed back. Wait. YouTube cone. Okay. Okay. I think we're finally back in business. Sorry. Sorry anyone who's been watching. Sorry. I don't think it was on my end, though. Everything else seemed fine. I don't have any drop frames. Anyway, I will continue now. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Is this Mikotoba, senior or daughter? Daughter. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh, no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Sato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Speaking of Mikotoba...
There you are. I believe congratulations are in order.
Yeah, I guessed right.
Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it's I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed a true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? And therefore it was your fault that he died? What a horrible person you are.
Yes, that's right.
Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson?
Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you worked together? Never heard you mention that before.
Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot.
I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. I'm so edgy. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, very edgy. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. In fact, it cut some hair just a few minutes ago. That reminds me, what happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder.
Yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but...
What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all.
She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai.
What? Shanghai?
Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that.
What? But why not? I'm assuming this is Giselle herself. It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Oh, never mind.
It's a matter of consular jurisdiction.
Inspector Hosonaga.
It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate...
But what's this all about consular jurisdiction?
We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan.
What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's gonna bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear a case. Somewhere far away, where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty.
Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right.
Then so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our government making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can be held accountable for her actions here in Japan.
I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial is nothing more than a game all along. There's never any danger of comeuppance for her.
I don't believe it.
The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves.
Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Dang, look at these guys planning the future of their country.
Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink.
But Professor... You're right. There's no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. Otherwise, you would have died.
In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As a head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink.
You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you?
Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, La Carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. Mikotoba, or Susato, we need more things for you to do. I don't really like your role in this story so far. I want to hear you talk more. Or see you talk more. Your voice is actually one of the hardest to do. Because I don't know what to do with it. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma? Yes, Ryunosuke? I just want to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? Believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts. And because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually. Something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. Sounds serious. What's...
Ah, you're still here, are you?
Inspector Hosonaga.
I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go.
Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Yes, that too. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. Why are they throwing him under the bus like that? He played a huge part. He messed everything up. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Yay, the end of the episode. Sick. Defense debut. Why, yes. I would like to save here, please. Whoa. Just had a bit of water. This is quite a lot of reading out loud. But I've only been streaming for 2 hours. I think I could get through one more chapter. I want to see... I have to be able to meet Herlock, man. Please tell me he's at the beginning of this episode. Let's go. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Yes. I would like to start from there, please. Are we gonna see an anime sequence? Cutscene?
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath.
Ooh.
In time,
This is
there
Wilson?
came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound.
It
Suddenly,
is
Sholmes
Wilson.
sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike.
And that's a coil, all right.
It was the most terrible speckled
And a
band
speckled
I had
band.
ever seen.
All right, here we go.
So then, let us unravel this mystery.
That's his
And
voice.
discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do
It's
explain.
higher than I expected.
The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery.
Classic.
In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor.
Of course he did.
Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time.
Okay.
This is a most extraordinary script.
Oh, that sign said, "Don't open this."
Not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
What the heck is all this stuff?
This paper seal was placed just
Whoa.
prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
That
Oh,
won't
weird.
be
Okay,
necessary.
so this is like a
see-
Russian boat.
In less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. An in-cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the
That
only one in
Hosonaga?
the world. Herlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Interesting. Rather interesting. My head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in there. What's good is new? Who's talking? Wait. I can't move. Ah! What the? Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now, Okay, it's Russian guy. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You're a true cold-blooded man. You. You found me then. Duh. We found you. And now you pay, criminal. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, Sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, No, I'll tell you everything. Is this Herlock? There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Oh. Susato. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Miss Susato. Susato-san. Susato. It's hard to say, man. Wait. What did you say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Oh no, is Kazuma dead? Please don't tell me Kazuma's dead. Of course he's dead though. Ha! You pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in the sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside. His body? Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead. Wait, can't be. These handcuffs. Surely don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please! No. No! Well, those are always hard to do. Those aren't real things people say. Kazuma. It's just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Can we get in trouble? Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. Thought I was gonna die. That turn. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. Must be even less of a man than you look. Hey! Honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotaba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about the time that the steward's supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there, I think. Won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I tell you what, why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. I've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? You're supposed to be going on this adventure to England together.
We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer.
No, I'm not a murderer.
Duh. You said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes.
No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best friend?
No one else could have done it. Admit the truth.
Chisato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there's something I would like to ask of you, too. Those eyes. She's ready to destroy me. This nightmare's getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Oh, I get to ask now. The death. Let's go in order. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. These handcuffs. They think I did it. They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via porthole window. The bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it in another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died. The ship's doctor is examining the body, of course. He has no post-mortem analysis experience. Oh, is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So, presumably that means there are no obvious external signs of injury then. That's true, yes? Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably, that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would always wake up before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far in this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside... there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. And the white tape there now showed exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me, too. Trust me.
Now I've told you everything that I know, so it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. Ugh, my head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you. But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Oh, excuse me. Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that. I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you're to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. Something's still bothering me a little. Look in his eyes then. It was darker than I'd ever seen it before. Oh my goodness. I'm yawning. Sato-san. I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Or perfect, in fact. If you're not the culprit, then tell me, what happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep. Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable. Really, I do. But it's the truth. If only I had woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. For some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this. Cosmo, I don't understand. Why? Why'd this have to happen? Can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. Oh, another yawn. Oh boy. The Cosmo was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose we to do then? I'm gonna investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm gonna work out who took Cosmo's life and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to excuse me. Hiya! We got judo thrown. What the? That was a Susato takedown. A Susato what? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to? Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get to Susato-san to believe me. I share some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Alright, well, I'm assuming it's a paper seal because had he gone out of his closet, the seal would have come off, right?
Yes!
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes it was. I remember it clearly. I thought so. Cosmo always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same thing last night as well. Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible I killed Cosmo. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? He's just surprised. You need help getting up? Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here, at least. Thank you. So, you finally believe me? I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. What does she think I am? Magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Sato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. Holy moly. Alright, so, usually I like to examine... Oh, we got a guy here. Lots of stuff going on. It's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, it's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Ah, yes, I see it says "this way up" in Japanese. Which, in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewmen wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Ah, yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? I'm sure you're careful to look all around using the D-pad, aren't you? Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Alright, let's find out about this bookcase. Books have fallen over on this shelf, look. They've all toppled the same way. What's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mowed down at once. I wonder if... Perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage. I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Let's see. Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Huh. Interesting. Well, there's a check mark on it, so that's good. How's that going on for it? These books are provided for the entertainment of whoever is occupying the cabin, I suppose. And they must be well looked after. You mustn't damage any of the ship's property. But it wasn't me who knocked them over. Well, anyway, I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are in a mess. Alright, now we know. Oh shit. I meant to aim for the thing next to it. Alright. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Alright, we've already talked about that desk. I mean that trunk. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means... what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. Could be a valuable clue. That's out of the question. What? Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? Alright, I won't read it. Or Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. In this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Man, there's a lot of things to examine here. Actually, I need to take a quick little bathroom break, so sit tight everybody, I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm back, and a little more alert than I was a few minutes ago. I decided to take the opportunity to actually eat a quick little snack, too. Try to get myself a tiny bit of energy, because I wanted to try at least get to the end of this chapter. We inspected the desk, and this thing, and the shelf, and this thing. How about the scrape here? What do you think this is? Looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netscape fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue. Oh, excuse me. Yes, you're right. It's the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. So that ink bottle is not its own thing. Interesting to note. Before I move over there all the way, let's check this stuff. That's my dinner from last night. Roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Sasato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no, does that mean... Poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Ugh, now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. No shit. I investigated thoroughly, but can't find anything out of place. That chair I'm inspecting? There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yeah, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. What, were you roofied? So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. No, no, no. No, that's all that is, huh? Alright, let's see what it says here. Seigi. Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet you... Can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on the ship. Listen, that's completely different. Now you're gonna bring that up, are you? I can't win. Nothing notable about that. Big notable... Wait a minute. There's a check mark next to it, but there's obviously like a knife there. Is that something that they would address in more detail if I selected a knife thing? I don't know. So all that, suffice to say, it all works. Let's do the katana, actually. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. he never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. Well, it shows just how important it was to him. Now he's gone. I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. I think he might actually... wait a minute. What is that? You know what I just said right now was like a stream of consciousness thing, because I think I'm starting to get really sleepy. I'm starting to doze off here, kind of like the way I was with AI Somnium Files. Jeez, this is the worst. I need to have a stream after actually getting some rest. Because when you come home from work and you haven't really slept much at all, you have a limited amount of energy, I guess. Unless you stock up on caffeinated something or others, but I don't have that with me right now. Anyway. Let's examine the door. When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt and not particularly sturdy. It just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door open to this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Yeah. Let's talk to him. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going, the investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it's not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking an investigator for information about this crime? Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. He might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Oh, wait, sorry. Niet, of course not. Now back to corner of room and make silent. I say no more to you. I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. Alright, there are only so many things left to check. Yeah, because I did the kernel, I did all that stuff. I don't think there's any food left. Well, there is one later on regarding calligraphy, but... Okay, let's inspect this. Did Kazuma write that before he died? Looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-san. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What? And what language is it? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. Not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? Alrighty, so all that was one thing. There isn't a whole lot to discover here, except... Ooh. What's this? This is... Yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? It sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try? Yes. In the interest of cultural research, obviously. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone's busy, that's all. Yikes. I think there's only one thing left to examine here. Oh, there's a vent. Oh, okay, let's examine the vent. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. Hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. No, odd. What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must be connected to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way when the seas are rough, or something like that? I suppose. Maybe that's it. Oh shit. Finally, it's him. Alright. Yikes. Who's that? Wasn't there a minute ago? As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh! He... You noticed the man too, have you? I have no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious and tall. Suspiciously tall. Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. Doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it? Or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. Alright, what's your deal, Herlock? Excuse me. Excuse me. Do you have a moment? Shh. It's a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Greetings, well, wait, what did you say? Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. Ah! What exactly were you doing on Cosmo's desk just now? I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? It feels like he's looking right through me. Oh, for a second I thought I saw a typo. Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh. Well, that's true, at least. But how? How the deuce did I do that? Or did I know that? Perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction. Hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you fled your native land of Russia, being, as you are, a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. What? And when the beribboned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, aren't you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting a revolution, too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No. Listen, there's no way. Hi-ya! Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh. Forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. But was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see. But what do you make of that, Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude, and more often than not, I'm right. I don't think you introduced yourself, at least not to me, not here. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Herlock Sholmes. So it's really you, the actual Herlock Sholmes. The very same, the inimitable actual Herlock Sholmes. Oh, they're really laying it on thick now. Do you know this man, Sato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruto-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on, then? We must ask him what he's deduced. We still have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Or we will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Doesn't look like there's much left to resolve or check for. Oh, wait, I never looked at the wardrobe though. Let's see. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruto-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout. Trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So, yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. Okay. I guess we've examined everything here, including that vent. No need to retread that. Oh boy. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Herlock, was it? Oh, no, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rance magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah yes, here it is, The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then? Indeed I am. You've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective? Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Oh, wait a minute, I had the wrong voice for that. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? Oh crap, he doesn't even know? That sucks. I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? Can't work out anything in Tomb Raiders. I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture, fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deduction from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can you look me in the eye and claim that? So as you see, I return both for observation and for deduction, and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow. Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? Two facts, you say? Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please, what two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let's be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. Two facts I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number two, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. I don't know how to read that. That's a Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma-san could have left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, many find their native tongue in filling their head. For this young man, it's Russian. Oh god, I had the wrong voice on again. In their final moments, many find the native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. For this young man, Russian. Ugh. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Garderobe may be the name of the killer. A certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interests of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Cosmo had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, thank you. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that... Ah yes, a train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining the train of reasoning to me, do you think? I don't know what that means. Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate troubling predicament you'll find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part. Ah, yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads... Revolutionary Villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Cosmo Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Cosmo-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik. No, how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face. Well, you are a famous revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Ugh, please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's anagram. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower. Ah yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far, and those he has plotted. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. I've absorbed all that, crud. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. That might turn out to be a thing. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Alright. To be honest, I think I'm losing too much steam here, so I'm gonna get through this dialogue choice, and once that is done, I think I'm gonna have to end the stream there. So let's see. Well, you're just investigating. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. They could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It's my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Susato-san, aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of this writing? Pray be precise as to details. No, but I thought you knew Japanese? A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. This diary is littered with complicated-looking characters of which I can read precisely none. What was all that showing off about before then? If you'd be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. Much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. Whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring... to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Oh. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter wants further investigation, I believe. And if I'm still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. Man, am I just like saying word salad midway through the sentence lately? I think I'm really losing it. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as a culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really. So, what? Were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, with having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? Ayya! Did she break the cuffs too? Damn. After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just gonna roll over and accept your fate? Ugh. As if he gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there's still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. You mean the skipper? I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir.
Yes? What can I do for you?
Oh, wait a minute. Right. Okay. I recognize that face, but it can't be. It is. I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga.
Hello again.
What are you doing here?
I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped.
Nearly stopped, I hope.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and aboard this ship.
Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector.
If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask.
I never expected to see this man on board. But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Let's see. Alright, full disclosure, that was a full-on doze-off. I don't even know how long that took. Holy moly. But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Alright, now that we have this stopping point, I'd say that's a good place to call it for the night. I think I should get back to this tomorrow sometime, but hopefully I'll have actual hours of sleep under my belt at that point. And then I'll be able to, you know, actually pay attention and remember what voices I'm doing and be a little more consistent. Alright. Well then. Whew. Anyone who has been following along with this playthrough and watching up till now, sorry to unravel at the end here. Kind of the same I did with the Isonian Fells. I'm so sorry. But that's it for me tonight. Thank you everyone for checking it out, for watching, spending time, doing whatever it is you're gonna do. We'll see you next time, next stream. I'm gonna continue playing this game until I beat it eventually. Hoping to do it sooner rather than later, because I just don't want to keep on sitting on games that kind of wait around and, you know, just grow into this big list of things that need to be done, you know. So, especially games like this that I really want to play. So, that's that. I will catch you guys later. Have a good night, everyone. Take care. Peace out. Bye-bye.